Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comedian, host of Bachelor Recap. Guys, review. This is the Taylor Nolan video, part 97 at this point. Still talking about Taylor Nolan and the horrific tweets that have surfaced. An equally horrific apology. She's on to her third apology. I'm all about additional apologies. I like it. It's fun. It's like rings on a tree. You can tell how old someone is based on how many rings on the tree. You can tell how much trouble someone's in based on how many times they've apologized. Chris Harrison, 2 apologies. Taylor Nolan, 3 apologies. It's like Count Dracula. 4 apologies. All right, so let's jump right. Hannah Brown, 7 apologies. Anyway, let's jump right into it here. I'm gonna play a video from Kaitlyn Bristowe. And I'm gonna play a couple of voicemails from you guys. One from Helsinki, Finland. One from New York City. Tons of voicemails. Yesterday I played about 30 voicemails. Unbelievable the amount of people wanting to call in and discuss this. My whole thought is I get annoyed when people like demand Bachelor Nation, like denounce this behavior. It just, to me, it's one of those things like, I'm like, aren't we all, don't we all agree this was horrible? Do we need everyone to release a PR statement saying, I don't condemn making fun of every minority group in the world? You know what I mean? Like, it seems common sense to me. But Finland will call in and she'll explain to me why she thinks it's important to denounce the behavior. And also, we'll play Taylor's new apology and her written statement. You know, it's a real multimedia pack of apologies. She's got a written statement. She's got a video statement. I'm sure she's going to have a podcast statement. So here we go. First of all, it's always good to read a tweet that didn't age too well. It could really come back and haunt you once on the internet. It's always there. Remember that, job's future. And I think she's learning that this week. All right, Taylor Nolan. Let's listen to her apology, which is broken up into the most annoying. By the way, can we get rid of Instagram stories? How they just stitch it all together? This was definitely not their intention, but it's annoying. Let's play it.
Hi everyone, I just posted a statement and every word in it, I mean wholeheartedly. I do sincerely, wholeheartedly apologize to every group that was offended, rightfully so, by the terrible, incredibly fucked up things that were said in my tweets. I am planning to address this in a more in-depth way, in a more unpacking way. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, this work is always ongoing. It is lifelong, and it's something I've been committed to, and I will continue to commit myself to. So again, today, I just want to say that I'm so incredibly sorry for not taking a second yesterday, to reacting, to being defensive, to not hearing the people that actually needed to be heard by me. So I'm sorry.
There's nothing more anxiety inducing than when you're trying to say something on Instagram and you know that the story's almost up and you just want to finish it real quick. Anyway, listen, this is, it's a better apology, right? And I'm no master of apologies here. You know a good apology when you see one, right? It's like one of those things. You just know it. Sometimes you can like say what works, what doesn't work, but you know a good apology. You know sincerity. I think she's it's still got boatloads of resentment and anger, and she's, because she says it right here.
So
she goes like, I'm doing the work. I've been doing the work, and I'm going to keep doing the work, and it's an ongoing process. It's like, no. Whatever work you've been doing, you tore it to shreds in the last week.
For that, obviously, this work is always ongoing.
This work is always ongoing. It's like, I don't know. The thing is, does somebody leave a comment? Let me know, because I'm really not. We had a lot of therapists call in, and people were giving such great advice. Does somebody who's a know-it-all, can you knock them down from that? It's one thing if she apologizes this and that, but if someone's like a real, like full-blown, like you get narcissist or whatever, can they overcome this, or will it always be ingrained in her like she was wronged and she's getting a bad deal? Because that's kind of what it feels like it is. All right, so let's read this apology statement, the written version. Yesterday's response was a reaction and not an apology. I'm sorry I didn't take a second to come correct. I owe you all an apology. There's no question or defending that every word of my old tweets are harmful, wrong, triggering, and incredibly upsetting to the communities that I identify with and that I support. I'm so sorry to the folks that were triggered and re-traumatized by seeing the hurtful words from my past. The views I held 8+ years ago were vile and unacceptable and are completely removed from the values and principles I hold today. Those words were a way for me to deflect from my own internalized racism, misogyny, and ignorance. Still, they cause harm, and I'm accountable to that harm. To my allies, friends, and folks who I've hurt, who have stood by me and supported me throughout the years, I am sorry. To the LGBTQI plus community, I'm so sorry for how my words have hurt you and perpetuated harm and intolerance to the community. To the words and survivors of sexual assault, I apologize for the ways my words have re-traumatized, triggered, and support you. To those struggling with long-standing mental issues, I'm sorry for my intolerance and lack of empathy and understanding at that time. To the Asian, the Jewish, the BIPOC community, I'm sorry for how my words perpetuated unfounded and damaging stereotypes. To those struggling with body shame and fat phobia, I'm incredibly sorry for my hurtful statements. You deserve so much better. I will continue to unpack and fight against the harm around fat phobia. No one deserves to experience and relive the hurt these words have caused. It almost reads like an SNL sketch because it's hard to believe someone could have offended so many different people, you know? So, but it's true. It's what happened. And that's, you know, it's like, that's why I made this, I made this thing the other day because she was Yosemite Sam. She was just, let me make it smaller here. She was firing off at the hip. Like she knew exactly what, you know, she was literally just hitting everybody, you know, just in a 360 degree. Like, oh yeah, if there's something, you know what I was thinking? The funny thing is, there's nothing funny about what she tweeted, but of all the people she came after, the straight white guy didn't get anything. You know what I mean? Like, good day, sir. Woo, survived that one. Wow. Straight white man. Unscathed due to Taylor Nolan. Unscathed. Thank you for that. I'm saying that in light. Obviously, it's just tragic. So to everyone who's been affected by this, I mean, truly, like, you know, if you have an issue and if you're forced to remind it, especially from somebody you trust, if you're forced to be reminded of something and bring that back up from somebody you trust, a lot of times vicarious emotions, when you feel them, it chemically, it's the same feeling as the first time it happened. You know what I mean? Like I can think of like stupid times over things about rejection or things that have happened in my past, and you get that thought of like, oh my gosh, it's just as bad. And she brought that back. She regurgitated that with so many different people. She ends by saying, I'm deeply committed to unlearning, learning, and working to be better every day and doing that work in my professional, personal, private, and public life. I'm determined to continue using my platform as a space to elevate all voices and bring forward growth and healing from my words. I'll continue the work and I'll share my process along the way as well as share the work I've done up until this point. Again, I am sorry. I may not have stood with you then, but I will continue to stand with you today. Look, there aren't many times where I say too little, too late. Like take Rachel Kirkconnell, right? She's sharing work that she's doing to better herself, but she's got like a very Rachel Kirkconnell. Like sure, there was a lot there, but Rachel Kirkconnell wasn't seen as an expert and like a social justice advocate. She was just a college girl with racist actions and ignorance for sure. But we're talking about Taylor Nolan, who is a therapist, went to school for that, preaches it, and holds everyone else accountable. So the difference is the hypocrisy of it all. So it's one thing for somebody to start from like a heaping pile of dog shit, which is Rachel Kirkconnell, and say, I'm going to learn, I'm going to educate, I'm going to read Emmanuel Acho, I'm going to do this, I'm going to share what I've been learning, and I'm going to do podcasts, and I'm going to grow. It's another thing to already have been up here and then take you a fall down. It's a long fall. All right, let's keep going here. Chris Randone. Now, look, I don't always get statements from Chris Randone, but let's read this one. I got to be honest with you. It's not an apology that will help Taylor nor everyone out here in the universe, but it's an understanding of what trauma were you going through then that caused so much anger and hate towards so many different beautiful races, genders, and body types. The information that's important here is when did you finally realize this was wrong in your life? How did the working on yourself start? When did you figure out this was a problem, and what steps did you start to take with transitioning into who you are today? What types of journey did you do, and what type of help did you receive to make a transition in your life from that? What was the root cause of why you saw people the way you did? Because this is where the impact can be made on a global scale to help others who are racist, who are hateful, who are judgmental, who are having issues with every type of person in the world. That's what I think is beneficial from this rather than an apology. Because an apology doesn't do anything as impactful as providing a blueprint others can follow, like Chris Harrison, to understand the journey of someone like Taylor, or start to finish with how troubling of a person you were back then during those times, but then transitioned into this activist and spokesperson for the same people you crushed with your horrible and disgusting words prior. That was a long run-on sentence, but I understand the point here. It's tough to, it's tough to script a perfect novel on Instagram story. Then this experience and understanding can be applied to others to help make a change and a radical shift in this world where others can then change themselves and unite to change the world thereafter. Too long didn't read Chris Randone or Rancone. Chris Randone says he doesn't condone it. Not condoning with Chris Randone. That would be a great podcast. I don't know. Just thought of it. Creative mind. So the too long didn't read version of this is, look, yeah, apology, blah, blah, blah. How did you get that way, and how did you and get to where you are today? Because, maybe you can be an example for others to improve their life. But a lot of people have said, they think Taylor Nolan, just took her bullying back then and applied it to the social justice movement. And if you're just a bully in the social justice movement, are you doing it for the right reasons? Is it altruistic in nature, or is it just a selfish way to want to control others? I don't know. Let's play Kaitlyn over here. We love Kaitlyn, right? Kaitlyn Bristowe. She's that quirky Canadian, just wants everyone to be happy. But she's embroiled in, everyone's asking these contestants, these former contestants on the show that have podcasts, that they're all involved in the same community. It's kind of like how I'm involved in the stand-up community. And if someone in the stand-up community committed some atrocities, unless they were someone that I employed or worked with, like in an improv group, unless I was like intertwined with them in a very close level, I don't think there's a need to respond to this. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's play this right here.
Again, with yet another human being having resurfaced tweets or something coming out that are not only racist, but now homophobic, fat shaming, the list goes on.
It does.
I'm shocked that it's Taylor Nolan because, she talks about being an ally and how she's done all this work, which I'm not discrediting that she's done all the work. But to use that as an excuse and say you're sorry by saying you've done the work is dismissing what you've said. It's dismissing all those people you've offended. And I clearly was shocked and disgusted and bothered, actually alarmed by her tweets. And I know she says she didn't delete them for a reason, but please delete them. They're still offensive, and even if it's a part of your journey, it really truly just made me sick to my stomach to see. But now here's the thing. Now I can't post anything or do anything because now my DMs are filled with people being like, how have you not said anything about the Taylor Nolan thing? It's like, because I myself have to think, digest, read what she said, and you know what? It really bothered me. I really needed to just take a second and not react with emotion to that because it was really disturbing. Okay?
So listen, we're just going to have to come to terms with the fact that these Bachelor contestants aren't superheroes. They're just normal people. And again, I could be wrong. Let's play let's listen to a voicemail from Helsinki, Finland, who says that they should be held accountable.
Hi, Dave. I will try to be quick. I'm calling you from Helsinki, Finland. I'm a huge fan of your channel. Anyway, I've learned of Taylor Nolan from Reality Steve and Ashley Spivey. They directed their followers on multiple occasions for educational purposes, obviously, to Taylor Nolan's page. So, yes, they absolutely need to come out.
Oh, sorry, I lost it. Coming back. Sorry about that.
Publicly denounce Taylor Nolan and everything that she stood for, whether 10, 5 years ago, it doesn't really matter. One more point. I do not understand why white Bachelor Nation alumni and influencers always say this is not my place to express any opinions. This is obviously wrong, but go to Black Bachelor Nation alumni and influencers to really educate yourself. Here's the thing. When you see a pet being abused, you need to be another pet to denounce and sort of like understand that this is wrong. What's wrong is wrong. And it's okay for a white person to express your opinion. Stop sending your followers to somebody else's page, because guess what? This is what we've learned. Everybody has made mistakes. I feel duped by, all those influencers sending me to this holier than holy water Taylor Nolan. What a shit show. What a shit show. I started following Bachelor Nation a couple years ago, and I'm pulling the plug.
There you have it, folks.
One word. Or maybe two, shit show. Bye.
Thank you so much. Helsinki, Finland. Thank you. I didn't know we had a contingency over there in Finland. How's that universal health care and salmon? Boy, do I wish we lived in the Scandinavian countries. I don't know. Maybe it's good. What do you take, ice baths? What do you guys do over there? Saunas? Do I have the right country? All right, moving on. Listen, you're absolutely right. If you're Reality Steve and Ashley Spivey, and again, I actually don't follow them. I'm on the outskirts of Bachelor Nation. I don't follow other people that follow. I like watch it just like you guys do, and I see whatever's on Reddit. So, and I don't mean that to be dismissive of holding people accountable, but with Reality Steve, yeah, if you're gonna like recommend a therapist to your friends and that therapist ends up sucking, you should apologize to your friends. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I recommended that restaurant. You got food poisoning. My bad. Oh man, they have a C rating. Yikes. Whoops. Didn't know. Wouldn't have done it. So, but if you're say just some random person who's been on the show, I just don't think you need to denounce it. Like it's almost like it's obvious. That's just my point. It's not that I'm against people denouncing it. It's that I know they're denouncing it because there's people in their DMs saying, "Oh, so you're not going to denounce Taylor Nolan?" And it's like, maybe I'm on holiday with my family and I don't want to deal with this right now. Does that come from a place of privilege? Maybe. But when did social media become something that we demand others of their like 24-hour? You know what I mean? Like, oh, geez, I'd pull a Rachel Lindsay and peace out. I would be gone. Take a cigarette break, deactivate, see you next week. Because who are you to have to respond? Now, I do agree with you. Absolutely when you say that white people should not be forcing the Bachelor Nation diversity Instagram accounts to do all the heavy lifting. Absolutely. If you witness something that's bad, like you said, someone harming an animal or its child or whatever, if you witness something that's bad, of course, it's your moral duty to do something about it. But, and again, you shouldn't be an innocent bystander where they have, what's that called? Like bystander syndrome, where like everyone thinks someone else is going to help out, so nobody helps out. There's a term for that. But I totally understand that. But my point is this is more of an angry mob of people saying, oh, Nick Viall hasn't responded yet. Oh, we need to get Nick Viall to respond. If Nick Viall doesn't respond, what are we going to do with ourselves? Does he condone Taylor Nolan? Come on. All right, New York City. Let's get into it. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. We can respectfully disagree.
Hi, Dave. I'm from New York. You're one of the few, if not the only, Bachelor Recap channel that isn't afraid to talk about racism and the latest controversy surrounding Bachelor Nation. I just wanted to point out how ironic it is that for many years, Chris Harrison has been encouraging an open dialogue on national TV by putting people who've been accused of things on after the final rose and the tell-alls, and all he has done is one statement about his actions regarding the Rachel Lindsay interview. I don't know if this has to do with Bachelor franchise and his contract, but I will be severely disappointed if he doesn't put himself in the hot seat and take this all head on. Thanks for doing what you do, Dave. Take care.
I couldn't agree more with somebody. And again, this is a little off topic, but I mean, not that you called in specifically for this topic, but I wanted to interweave it. I will be so disappointed if after the final rose doesn't include Chris Harrison on the hot seat. It's almost like this pressure has built up and we just need to hit the depressurizing chamber. I'm not an engineer. Is there such a thing as a depressurizing chamber? There should be, and Chris Harrison needs to hit it. And people say, well, no, it's his place to be silent and whatever. It's like, no. Emmanuel Acho, everything he preaches is about not being afraid to ask the stupid questions, not being afraid to just like talk about things, talk about where we went wrong. I'd love for Chris Harrison, and I don't expect Rachel Lindsay to want to do this, but I would love for Chris Harrison and Rachel Lindsay to sit down and pinpoint line item where they went wrong in that interview. So he can pinpoint his apologies and to make them so exact that we know exactly where he stands on this. So I'm not here defending him. I'm saying if we really want to cross-examine what his intentions were and where he wants to go moving forward, and understanding if he has grown and if he's willing to share that growth with others that clearly see him as a leader within this community, then I think it's important to talk and have this conversation. You're absolutely right. You said you'd be severely disappointed if he doesn't get himself on that hot seat. Unfortunately for the Women's Tell All and for the After the Final Rose, these hot seats are like 40 seconds long. And no, I want a 2-hour conversation. I think the devil is in the details, and we need to hear people, their long form thoughts. It's not something you can just get out in a 15-second Instagram story. Have the conversation. The bandwidth is unlimited, and make this happen. I think I had one more here. Can we agree to boycott Taylor's podcast and not help her monetize off of her apology? Well, that's what's going to happen next. Is she's going to probably talk about it on her podcast, and when those get views, you make money off of it. And look, everyone, you can put your dollar wherever you guys want to put it. If you want to pull the plug on Bachelor Nation, you do what you got to do. Vote with your dollar. That's all I got to say. I'll see you guys later. If you haven't checked it out yet, I got my Women Tell All recap that is up. And also in the description of this video, there's a link to join my mailing list, completely free, no spam, none of that. Just like you can put your name and your email. And then when I've got merchandise, which is coming out soon, I can email you the merchandise, and also any stand-up tour dates when the world opens back up. And we can try to enjoy a good laugh, because God knows we need it right now. Be kind to your neighbor. We'll see you guys next time, and leave a comment. Bye, guys.